Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Slifer Slacker back up with a video. We've got some Yu-Gi-Oh news this time. We're gonna start with the detonating Karibos. So this is an interesting one. This is actually, I believe, it's a manga artwork from the original Battle Duelist Kingdom arc, and this is Yugi's Karibo detonating. I think Thousand Eyes Restrict. So it's a level 1 Dark Fiend monster, 300 attack, 200 defense, and it is called Detonating Karibo. And its following effect is you can only use its first and second effect once per turn. If a Karibo monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, quick effect, you can equip this card that you control to that opponent's monster as an equip spell with this effect, and that essentially negates the effect. So you have a Karibo card on field, you can just simply special this out and then target something when it goes to activate its effect. The one thing that I'm a little bit disappointed about is I kind of thought that this was going to tie into the Shining Sark stuff, like the Gold Sarcophagus stuff, Legacy of Destruction. It isn't, which is slightly disappointing. I was kind of hoping that it would have like a similar effect to this, but like controlling like a Shining Sarcophagus or something. Um, but we actually have a couple other things. Last night, out of the blue, and I honestly thought that a GX character would be getting the last slot for the Duelist pack. Turns out we didn't, and it was actually given to Kaiba with the XYZ, not to be confused with like Exceeds, but XYZ Dragon Cannons. So don't mind my computer here, it's just a little bit laggy trying to load this up. And a lot of people kind of thought that I mean, it could also work with Chaz and stuff, which is totally fine. Like I don't, you can play it, but I feel like it just kind of works better on its own. So we're gonna start with X Cross Cannon. The artwork is pretty good because I mean, it just looks like a modern version of X Head Cannon. So you got X Cross Cannon, it's a light machine monster effect. So it's important to note that it's not a union monster. It is a non-union monster. So it is a level 4, 1800 attack, 1500 defense. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. So this is a hard once per turn. I don't believe the other ones are. So it says if you control a light machine fusion or a union monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can equip one appropriate light machine union monster from your deck to this card as if it were equipped by that monster's effect. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck this turn except for light. So you are going to be locked in lights with these, which is good. So I mean, honestly, you could splash in blue eye stuff. Next card is called Y Ear Dragon, or sorry, Y Dragon Earhead. Y Dragon Earhead. I don't think that that's going to be the final translation. I will be shocked if it is because that just doesn't sound right at all. It's a light machine union monster, level 4, 1500 attack, 1600 defense. If this card is special summoned, you can equip a level 4 light machine monster from your hand or graveyard to it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for this turn except for light monsters. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Target one machine monster you control. Equip this card to it. If it would be destroyed by battle, the card effect destroy this card instead, or a special summon this card. So basically, this card does not have a hard once per turn restriction on it, and neither does the next card, which is nice. The key difference between these would be if this card special summon, you can special summon a light machine monster from your hand or graveyard, and this one is going to special summon it from your banishment, I believe. So same deal. This is Z Zillion Caterpillar or Z Zillion Tank. Light Machine Union Monster effect, level 4, 1500 attack and 1300 defense. If this card is special summon, you can equip one of your banished level 4 light monsters to it. Also, you can special summon for the extra deck the rest of this turn except for light monsters. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Target one monster you control, equip this card to it. If it would be destroyed by battle, the card effect, destroy this card instead, or special summon this card. So again, these two are effectively, obviously they have different names, but they're effectively like the same card. Um, they even have the same attack, which is going to come in handy for one of the cards below here. So we have here XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon. Before I even read this card, I have one gripe, and I have one gripe with this whole set of cards, unless the very last card somehow fixes that. Um, this right here should have either counted as XYZ Dragon Cannon, or you should have been able to banish it to straight summon that card. Like something like that. I feel like this really needed, and like I said, unless there's one more card coming, so there's a chance that it could be something like that. But I think that that's what this should have had somewhere. Um, so okay, so it is XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon, Light Machine Fusion, level 9. I think most of them are level 8. That's interesting that it's 9. 3,000 attack, 2,800 defense. It's fusion material. It's gonna be the 3 monsters that we just mentioned: X Cross, Y Dragon Earhead, and then Z Zillion Tank. Which I have a feeling that that's not gonna be what that. I'd be shocked if any of these are the final translation for what we get. But must first be some from the extra deck by banishing the above cards from your field and or graveyard. So the interesting part is it says above cards. So I think that this would mean then that we don't have to get them out of the spell and trap zone. We can straight just banish the above cards. So that means we only have to get those 3 pieces. So if we get one equipped with 2 of them, you can just do that. I'd have to double check, but because it doesn't say monster card, it specifically just says cards, I think you do that. So once per your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. Second effect says you can banish this card from your field or graveyard and reveal 1 level 8 light machine fusion monster in your extra deck and special summon up to 3 of the materials whose names were mentioned on it from your graveyard and or banishment. And I digress. I really feel like this right here could have said deck, and then we could have just played, got out the 3 originals, then got the XYZ Dragon Cannon, but I don't know why they didn't just throw that in there. But we did get this card. It's kind of like the thing that lets you know that this is for specifically for Kaiba and not for Chaz. Union Controller, because it has the enemy controller on it, and that looks really sick. I'm kind of surprised that this didn't search enemy controller. Like I'm honestly surprised that it didn't say like add 1 spell or trap, but then also like add a union monster spell or trap, but then also add enemy controller. But anyway, it's called Union Controller. It's a light machine, level 6. It's a fusion. 2,200 attack, 1,900 defense. 1 light monster plus either of the 2, Y Dragon Head or Z Zillion Tank. So one thing that I was kind of thinking is you could actually use the original X Head Cannon, and I'll explain to you why when we scroll down. This must be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above card to control. You can only use the first and second once per turn. You can only use the first effect once per turn. So the second effect is non-hard once per turn. It's just soft. So that means if you get out 2, you can use it again. If this card special summon from the extra deck, you can add 1 spell or trap from your deck that mentions Union Monster in its text, which I believe is only a couple. Second effect is once per turn, you special summon a light normal or a Union Monster from your hand. So it's effectively frontline base, which is pretty cool. And this is the card that I was talking about when I said that you could actually potentially run the original X-Head Cannon, the normal monster. So it's called Union Activation. It's a normal spell card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. So it's going to be a hard once per turn for both effects. Totally understandable. You send 1 light machine normal monster, i.e. the original X-Head Cannon, or a Union monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. And if you do, add a light machine monster with the same attack but a different original name from your deck to hand. So you could actually activate this, send the original X-Head Cannon, search the new guy, because that's probably going to be the deck's best normal summon them out, and then if you have Union Hanger or something else, you could pretty much combo off. I haven't really looked at these yet, like for combo potential. I kind of really want to splash these with Blue Eyes, though. Like, I think that could be neat. But the second effect says if you special summon 3 light machine monsters at the same time while it's cards in your graveyard, you can banish this card, add 1 monster with 3,000 or more attack from your deck to your hand, then immediately after this effect resolves normal summon. So this is obviously meant to be one of 2 things. Blue Eyes or Obelisk, I think. Unless, and I don't think that there's the space in this deck actually to do that. But unless they made like a main deck XYZ Dragon Cannon, which I would be very shocked if they did, because just looking at the numbers here, I think there's no room. So that's 24, that's 23, That's 22, and that's 21. So unless that's 20 and that's 19, unless they were to put this at the very front and make it number 18, which I don't know where the other cards lie in the set. I'd have to look at the set and see, but I don't think that they would do that. I think it's the last card is going to either be a spell or some sort of trap. Okay, so this is a searcher. I honestly think it's going to be some sort of trap. I don't think that they could give this deck another spell. But actually, guys, we do have one more card with Trickstar Aqua Angel. So I don't really know how I feel about this because one, this is the light booster pack, and we're getting a water monster. It's kind of odd, but okay. So this is a woman in her ultimate battle mode recalls her beginnings as an angel. So if you don't really know, if you haven't watched the Retrain's anime, the character that plays Trickstars and Marincess are the same Duelist. She just kind of switches decks, I think, halfway through the show. So it's a water level 4 fairy, so it becomes water like Marincess, but it retains fairy like Trickstar. 0 attack, 0 defense. So that's a parry Reese map target, although you're never going to normal summon that, so maybe that wouldn't be a parry Reese map target. This card is always treated as a Marincess card. You can only use its first and third effects once per duel. Once per duel, that's usually those get ran at like maybe one of max, just because that's okay. I don't. Let's see what the effects are. If you control a Trickstar or Marincess monster, you can special this card from your hand at graveyard. Not bad. That's just if you control. Okay, see, I swear when the translation came out earlier, it says if you special summon one. So that's interesting. So you just have to control it. Okay. You special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. Second effect is link monsters. This card points to. Link monsters that point to this card cannot be destroyed by battle. That's interesting. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can look at your opponent's hand and all of their set cards. Not bad. Is that really what Trickstar needed? I mean, it could dodge Nibiru. It can dodge other hand traps if you know what your opponent's playing. That's kind of interesting. But my biggest takeaway is definitely my favorite out of all of these is definitely the Kaiba support. Definitely these guys right here. 100%. And I'm excited to see what Rage of Abyss brings, and I hope that drops tonight. But guys, this is Cypher Slacker. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I am kind of curious